You've been asking for it. Funky Dineva issues an apology after going on a very horrific rant on Chloe Bailey. Let's talk about what started this and how it's ending. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So we normally don't talk about fellow YouTubers here on the platform until it crosses over into pop culture, especially when it involves a celebrity like Chloe Bailey. So this all began because there is speculation that Chloe Bailey's sister, Halle the Little Mermaid, might be pregnant. And a lot of people have issues with these sisters that you also grew up watching on YouTube. And they've turned into become a dynamic duo, actresses, under the guise of a Beyonce, who is otherworldly as well in the music industry and entertainment as a whole. So they are under a microscope with everything they do, from who they're dating, with the music that they're putting out. And a lot of people, most recently, Halle just put out a single. Chloe has put out her own project as well. And it's been received very mixed, very mixed. However, you love them as a duo. Here's the thing. So because of the affection and because everyone has seen these two sisters grow up before their eyes, when they transition into finding themselves being more sexy and being a woman, people are uncomfortable because, oh, I saw you grow up. Or uncomfortable for whatever other reason. We're not going to get into any of that. Well, there's been speculation. A lot of people do not like Halle Bailey's boyfriend for a variety of different reasons. There's been all kinds of things back and forth on social media. Was he cheating on her? Oh, he's not good enough for her. I don't care about any of that. So there's been speculation that maybe possibly she's pregnant, and everyone has been looking at the proof like, oh, look, she's wearing baggy things and look at her walk. She looks like she's pregnant. She looks like she's trying to hide her pregnancy. Sidebar, I'm not a woman, but normally if someone hasn't announced their pregnancy, first of all, you don't say that they're pregnant. Secondly, we don't know how far along she might be, so she might not want to talk about it just yet. We don't know what decisions she's made in regards to that pregnancy. There's a lot. There's a lot. So there's been speculation about that. But of course, her sister, Chloe, was on I believe, IG Live. And I'm sure there are all kinds of people in the comment section. And she wanted to make sure, she was like, keep my sister's name out your mouth.
And y'all better keep my sister's name out your mouth. Thank you.
They're very protective of each other, rightfully so. That's her sister. Well, of course, on Fox Soul, they were talking about this hot topic, and TGIF with Al Reynolds and Claudia Jordan and Funky Dineva, they talk about the hot topics. So they all were sharing their thoughts and speculation on whether or not Halle Bailey was pregnant. And sidebar, Al, and shout out to first of all, I am going to cite my sources because I always do. I'm going to cite my girl Layla Lynn. And if you're a member of the channel, become a member. We just dropped something just for members involving Layla and Grace Report in Real Housewives of Atlanta. Layla did a really amazing video, and I love, because Layla normally she just lays the facts out for you. This is what the information is, and she rarely shares her opinion. And I'm so glad she did this video because she is sharing her opinion in this as a Black woman and how she believes that there is this assault on making fun of Black women, especially here on these YouTube streets. And here's the thing. I'm glad she said it because in my head as a Black man, as a man, I'm not going to see it because of the guise of where I come from the seat that I sit. But I'm grateful for people like her that pointed out, because now I'm going to be like, oh, wait. You get what I'm saying? Again, why it's important to have people like this in your life, why it's important to view other opinions outside of your own. So she did a really fantastic video talking about this and also laying out all the information. So if you want to see some of the things that I'm talking about, because I'm not going to add all the backstory, thankfully, Layla is so perfect at gathering information like this. So as always, I'll cite her in the description of this video. So on TGIF, they're talking about this. Al I don't know how Al Reynolds is talking about how Halle needs to come out. It's a part of her brand. She should not be lying. First of all, she has not said anything about not being pregnant. They're citing this rehearsal video that she did. Nowhere is she talking about, oh, I'm not pregnant, or using this video to say that I'm not pregnant. But I find it very interesting that Al Reynolds, of all people, is talking about people being true to themselves and true to their brand. I'll let that sit. I'll let that sit because now he's come out with his truth and things like that. But y'all remember, y'all follow the history of Al Reynolds. Hey, Star. But that's besides the point. So they're discussing this, and then Quentin, aka Funky Dineva, shares his thoughts on the situation.
I can officially say I don't like her. Chloe Bailey is so goddamn lame to me. First of all, girl, you are Miss Preppy Ashley from the suburbs. Then you came out, you was being all promiscuous and shit. And then now you trying to be a gangster. None of it is believable, girl. None of it is believable. And I'm probably gonna catch a lot of backlash for this. And without that makeup, she ain't cute. She should have never showed up on that camera with that fat ass face without no makeup. She ain't cute. You're not believable. You're so goddamn inauthentic. That's why you're selling. All right.
And I have to say this, aside his thoughts on Halle Bailey and if she's pregnant, whether, to me, that's unimportant at this point. It's unimportant. She will tell us when she's ready. All right. Here's the thing. I can't tell you how uncomfortable I was watching this video because I was just sort of like, wait, did she take your man? Did she do something to you? And a lot of you update everything. You remember everything. Your elephant brains were working because you're like, oh, remember what he said about Blue Ivy back in the day? Called Blue Ivy ugly? And there have been other things that people have said that he has said. And very much like our platform, largely Black women support and watch our content. The same goes for Funky. But this is what he says about Chloe. Because this story is not necessarily about Chloe. But he says this. He says, I don't like her. Chloe Bailey is so goddamn lame. I'm probably going to catch a lot of backlash for this. And he continues. But without that makeup, she ain't cute. What does that have to do with the topic? Mind you, she is. He says she should have never showed up on that camera with that fat ass face without no makeup. He says she ain't cute. She's not believable. So goddamn inauthentic. That's why your ish ain't selling. Here's the thing. And we could go on a whole synopsis on Chloe Bailey's music, why people aren't connecting with it. She's also, this is her first pursuit as being a solo artist. She's also finding her way. And let's understand, Chloe Bailey, not only can she sing, she writes and produces. There's not a lot of female producers out here right now doing that, her music. And she acts. You guys reminded me when I posted about this on Twitter, and she's an actress. So she's doing a lot of things. And this is the problem with our society. This is the same thing that you guys say about so many artists that you're waiting on to put out music. You've written so many of these artists off because that one single didn't do what you thought it was going to do. And then like, oh, it's done with her until they come back 10 years later and then like, oh my gosh, I always loved her. And it's usually women, it's usually Black women that don't get the space to grow and evolve in this industry. So he said all of that, and I can't tell you, I've seen this clip so many times, and I'm just like, what happened? Did she do something to you? Did she talk about you? What did she do? Because it sounded so personal. Well, today, Funky has issued, I'm going to put in quotes, an apology, because it doesn't feel like an apology. And shout out to our friends over at thatgrapejuice.net, because this is where we're getting the transcript of what he said in his apology, because I'm not going to play the clips. You've probably at this point seen the clips. I just like to break down what is being said. So he says this, I 100% stand 10 toes down on the fact that I think Chloe Bailey is inauthentic when it comes to her as an artist. He says, I think the sexual image she gives is unbelievable. I think that in defending her sister, the whole clapping back thing, I think it was inauthentic. She didn't say much in her clap back, though. She basically said, just keep my sister's name out your mouth. I don't care. You don't have to be from whatever neighborhood to be able to say that. That's her family. That part, I'm just like, I can hear you when you're talking about her music and maybe what she's trying to do with her image. Because a lot of you in the comment section were like, well, he said what we all been thinking about her music and her image. But that's one thing. He then goes on to say this. He says, but I also recognize that is where my commentary should have started and stopped. He says, I don't have my head too far up my ass so far in my own ego that I can't recognize the fact that I did cross the line when I started talking about her looks. That was below the belt. It was not necessary and it was non-germane to the story at hand. And for that, I do apologize. So again, I apologize for going below the belt when referencing Chloe Bailey's looks. They had nothing to do with the story at hand. This was a learning lesson and I hope to move forward and not repeat it. I mean, I hope you don't repeat it as well. I'm not one of those people, and you guys know in our community, I always tell you guys, this is not about beating someone down when they make a mistake. We all make mistakes. As people that put our faces out there, we sometimes put our foot in our mouths, not intentionally. However, there has to be a learning lesson here because as I said to you before, a lot of people have been citing this is not the first time that he's attacked a black woman, a woman. But at the same time, I'm not going to attack Funky with like, how dare you call someone ugly and big butt because you look like this. I don't feel like that's necessary. I don't feel like that's necessary because I feel like you're fighting fire with fire. And some of you believe that's the way you should do it. I don't. I just hope that he really reflects on why he chose the words that he chose in that moment, why he felt the venom that he felt for Chloe Bailey, someone that he doesn't know in that moment, because that's the lesson to learn because you don't know this person. So why do you feel so passionate about her defending her sister? Why do you feel so passionate about the way she looks or how she's presenting herself with her music, especially her being a new artist, still finding her way? She's 20-something years old. We are all evolving. How were you when you were 20-something years old? Did you know who you were when you were that age? Some people don't know who they are at their big age of 40 and 50 years old. It's all a growing process. And as a community, especially as people that put our faces out there, because Funky put your face out there. So it's important to give each other grace like I'm giving you right now. Guys, as always, we always love to hear your thoughts. It's not about bashing people in the comment section. It's more about let's get to the root of where this problem is. Because like Layla said in her video, she is seeing a trend on YouTube and on social media where people are finding it funny to make fun of black women specifically. Let's continue this grown conversation below. As always, we do not moderate adults, so behave nicely. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll ask you. Follow my lead.